So was the attack on the Benghazi consulate that killed 4 Americans, including an ambassador and 2 Navy SEALs, was it planned or not? Now, one would think this would be a simple yes or no answer, but as is usual with the administration, it's complicated. Over the weekend, UN Ambassador Susan Rice, she stuck to her talking point, saying that this was not premeditated. Oh, really? Let's watch this.
The best assessment we have today is that, in fact, this was not a pre-planned, premeditated attack. That what happened initially was it was a spontaneous reaction to what had just transpired in Cairo as a consequence of the video. Our current assessment is that what happened in Benghazi was, in fact, initially a spontaneous reaction to what had just transpired hours before in Cairo, almost a copycat of the demonstrations against our facility in Cairo, which were prompted, of course, by the video. What our assessment is, as of the present, is in fact what it began spontaneously in Benghazi as a reaction to what had transpired some hours earlier in Cairo.
Yeah, spontaneous. They had rocket-propelled grenades in their back pocket at the right time. That's not what the Libyan president thinks. Listen to what he said.
Was this a long-planned attack, as far as you know, or what do you know about that?
The way these perpetrators acted and moved, I think they're choosing the specific date for this so-called demonstration. I think this leaves us with no doubt that this is pre-planned, predetermined.
And joining me now for a Hannity investigation, we have the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, and that is New York Congressman P. King and Texas Congressman Louis Gohmert. You know, it's pretty sad we live in a country at a moment where I believe the Libyan president and Libyan officials over this nonsense that our own government and this administration is saying.
Well, it's absolutely right. I put my former judge hat on. You look at the evidence. You've got a video, a ridiculous video from somewhere, and it's out there for months. Nobody notices. It doesn't have any effect. And then all of a sudden, Egyptian television, run by the Muslim Brotherhood, nothing gets on they don't approve of. Morsi could stop anything that goes. And all of a sudden, they start blasting that right before 9/11. People get stirred up. And all of a sudden, spontaneously, you have all these weapons show up and kill an ambassador.
Do you buy this, or are we being lied to, Congressman? And the lie would be in a couple of areas. One is that this was spontaneous. 9/11? We didn't have extra security at our embassies? That is malpractice as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, actually, as far as Egypt, the embassy was actually warned that there were going to be heavy demonstrations in Cairo that day, and yet nothing was done. No one spoke to President Morsi, even though he gets $1.6 billion. He did nothing to protect us. As far as Libya, that area of Libya, Benghazi, is an al-Qaeda stronghold. Ansar al-Sharia also has large numbers of forces there, and Al-Qaeda in the Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, AQIM, are all located in that part of
But we have
Libya.
the Libyan president, and we have high-ranking Libyan officials that have come out and are now saying that they gave a direct warning to the United States that this was coming, and they knew it, and we did nothing?
Well, there's been concern about security at that, forgetting even whether or not this was planned per se. It was, to me, malpractice not to have security at that consulate on September 11th in the middle of al-Qaeda territory when the American ambassador was coming there, and also knowing that we did know there were large demonstrations planned for Cairo. To me, it makes that's indefensible, and that also has to be investigated, Louis.
It does. And Valerie Jarrett, I read, she's going on vacation, Martha's Vineyard. And she has more security than our ambassador we lost 2 Navy SEALs in Benghazi.
Oh, and not only did we lose them, Sean, but the statement that the press got said that former Navy SEAL was killed running for cover. Man, I know Navy's. That's what
the opposite is what I've heard.
Oh yeah. Well, the accounts, you can find them. They said, well, the administration says that he was seeking cover, running for cover at the time he was killed. But let me tell you, if you wonder, you say, well, it's not enough evidence. The fact that we have departments saying we're community partnering with these Muslim front organizations. if you want evidence of Muslim Brother influence in this administration, look at the fact that this is the only group of leaders in the entire world that is saying, oh, this isn't because they hated America. It's not because they don't like our administration. It was all about a video. That's what they're being fed by their Muslim Brotherhood advisors.
I want to know this question, Congressman King, because this is really important. We gave the Muslim Brotherhood $2 billion taxpayer dollars. We know that Morsi was the head of the Muslim Brotherhood.
Right.
We know he recently met with the mullahs in Iran and Adolf Jr. Ahmadinejad.
Right.
So my question is, when are we going to stop funding them? And why didn't the president understand that the Muslim Brotherhood was the likely successor to Mubarak? Why did they not see that? I said it on this program.
You did.
You and others.
Yeah, right, yeah. Because they're hiding from reality. The fact is the president, ever since he began the apology tour in the summer of 2009, has made apologies for these groups, for the Muslim Brotherhood and others. And also the fact is that the reason they don't want to admit this is a terrorist attack, because that shows his policies have failed. And they failed miserably. His entire policy in the Middle East.
So they're afraid of the scrutiny. Here we are 50 days out of an election as of tonight. So they, for political purposes, they will willingly lie to the American people about what happened here. Why? So as to show that his apology...
Well, they said because bin Laden is dead and because of his policies, Al-Qaeda is no longer a force. For them to admit that Al-Qaeda led this attack on our...
is a failure.
So the policy is a failure.
But he said he wasn't going to spike the football. He went to Cairo he went to Cairo and he said in Cairo, I'm stopping torture in America. No enhanced interrogation, no bin Laden, no Gitmo, no bin Laden, no rendition, all the things he opposed.
They look at us as weaker. And in fact, just this afternoon, we hear that the DOJ is now going to be investigating this incident. Sean, these guys are at war. DOJ. These guys are at war with us.
Criminal.
And we're preparing a criminal case for the courts. They're at war with us.
The Muslim Brotherhood. Read their mission statement, which says, the Quran is our way, Sharia is our way, and the highest honor is to die in the name of Allah.
When the president came out the morning after the attacks and he mentioned Libya, he didn't even mention Egypt. And yet Morsi turned his back on us. He was also actually speaking in Arabic, encouraging a demonstration.
And they changed their tune 4 times. Even the president said it was terror after enormous criticism. Then Susan Rice goes out and says the opposite. They can't make up their mind. This to me, and the media wants to beat up Mitt Romney, which is driving me nuts.
Well, look at the symbol.
Real quick.
What they sent in the way of messages. July, the president has known members of terrorist organizations come to the White House.
In the White House.
Come to the White House.
No BB.
Right. No BB. The message is, go ahead, we'll invite you to the White House.
And when is Morsi coming next? In a month?
Well, they were already asking for the blind shake. I can't imagine anything worse than this administration.
They do that, this election's over. What they'll do is they'll put it off till after the election.
Over.
We're just meeting with Morsi and Netanyahu is a disgrace.
All right, I got to go.
That's right.
Guys, good to see you both. Thanks for what you're doing. Coming up,